We will now demonstrate the starting training for basic four-corner pushing hands. The standing posture is the same as in the basic walking, with the weight supported on one leg. When going forward, you push first to the left corner, then to the right. You sit back and turn the hip with the toe up, turning your hip to guide the hands. In basic pushing hands, 2 pushes are given to the opponent, and then as the opponent returns 2 pushes are received in the sitting back position. You will notice that the hip coordinates to drive the hand. In turn, when sitting back, the hip is used to neutralize the incoming force. When going forward, make sure that the hip coordinates with the shoulder relaxed to drive the hand. Again, make sure that the alignment and the push is driven by the hip with the knee stable. When sitting back, neutralization is also done by turning the hip. This provides a smooth coordination from the hip through the hand in both directions of pushing, and a smooth coordination and looseness in the hip for good neutralization. Later, this pattern is performed with 2 people facing each other. Now we will show the basic pushing hands formation starting in the rearward position or with the neutralization. Again, sit and support your weight on one foot. The forward foot has the toe up. Hands in 2 loose fists. Turn your hip to the right, to the left, toe down, go forward, push to your right, and to your left. When sitting back, make sure that the rear knee bends to absorb your height. The pelvis should be properly tucked in. When transferring your weight forward, go down on the front knee with a forward lean. This ensures that you are maintaining yin-yang separation in the support of the body. Again, note that the hip coordinates to drive the hand. Later, we will show how these 2 patterns interlock. With the partners facing each other, they will now demonstrate in the air how the 2 sides of the pattern interlock. You'll see that when 2 pushes are given, the person sitting backward prepares to receive those 2 pushes. In turn, 2 pushes are given and 2 pushes are received. You see how the coordination of the hip through the pushing is done in opposition to the coordination of the hip in receiving. Now, at the proper training distance, the last ingredient in pushing hands is added, which is the interception of the wrist to the wrist and the wrist to the elbow. When receiving a push, you receive the opponent's arm by making connection wrist to wrist and wrist to elbow. Then, as the push comes in, you allow the push to turn your hip in order to neutralize the push without using brute force. In turn, when giving the push, the weight of the body is coordinated through the hip, focused through the wrist and palm, and applied to the center line of the person receiving the push. This kind of training is very valuable in terms of training coordination, balance, reflexes, and sensitivity. Training should be done on both sides of the body, using both legs as the rearward leg of support. This type of training develops a sense referred to as stickiness. Stickiness means to follow the opponent and to maintain contact. Through that contact, one can sense what the opponent is doing, anticipate, and redirect accordingly. Both partners now take one step to continue the training without interrupting the continuousness of the flow. The speed of training being shown is the basic beginning speed for training basic pushing hands. At a more senior level, training can be done more rapidly or more slowly as a person's coordination, balance, and sensitivity improve.